police officers, sometimes the police have to come in and help us hold people down. So we put on a gown, we put on gloves, and, oh, I have to show you this. We also have these big plastic face shields because, you ready for this? Sometimes the patients will spit at us, but Cubby is not going to spit at me, so I'm not going to put my face shield on. Now, the tube that we use that goes into the stomach, it's a pretty big tube. I mean, when you think about it, if our purpose is to get your stomach contents out, well, we can't use a little tiny skinny tube. So this is the tube that we use that goes into the stomach. Now, the other thing I want to mention is that we usually go through the nose. We can go through the mouth, but if we go through the mouth, it wiggles around, people bite on it. Just imagine, let's see. Well, just imagine that any of you are my patient. You're rushed to the emergency room. I'm trying to save your life. I go to put the tube in and you bite down, so I can't push it down. So we usually go through the nose. Now, I'm not going to actually put this into my stomach, but I would like to show you the size of this in my right nostril. We put it into your nose like this, and we push and push and push and push till it gets to the back of your throat, but then we run into a problem because we want to make sure that that tube goes from your esophagus to your stomach, not your trachea to your lungs. So what we do while that tube is right there in the back of your throat is we ask you to take a drink of water with a straw, and when you do that and you make that gulping sound, gulp, then we give the tube a shove and we push and push and push and push until it gets into your stomach. Now, Cubby, are you ready? So we put this tube into the nose, to the back of the throat. We ask you to take that drink of water with a straw, and when you do that and you make that gulping sound, Cubby, say the word gulp. Gulp. Then we give the tube a shove and we push and push and push until it gets into the stomach. Now, Cubby, with your right hand, if you can hold this up by your nose like it's coming out of your nostril, then we take this part of the tube, we hook it to the bag system that Stephanie's holding, plug it in right here like this, but then we have this loose end of tubing that's just hanging down here. Well, we're going to hook this loose end to wall suction. So Stephanie, hold that bag up over your head. We're going to fill that bag with water. We're going to flush water into the stomach, clamp it off, and suck it out. And we flush it in, suck it out, flush it in, suck it out. We do it over and over until all of your stomach contents come back up like, what did you have to eat today? How about breakfast? How about cereal? What's your favorite cereal in the whole world? Cheerios. Cheerios. Or anything that's in your stomach, anything that's in your stomach. Now, when this tubing runs clear, when all of that water has flushed through, well, we disconnect the bag that Stephanie's holding. But before we pull this out of his stomach, there's one more thing we have to do. Something has to go in. Any ideas? The charcoal. No matter what, you're going to get the charcoal. So I take a big plastic syringe like this, big plastic syringe. I suck the charcoal into the syringe, hook it to the tube going into the stomach, and flush in the charcoal. Everybody give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, this last story is actually, well, it's actually the ending of the story that I started with, the teenager by the name of Bob, who had been drinking and driving and he died. Well, what I didn't tell you, excuse me, just a minute, please. Right? Thank you. What I didn't tell you is what happens in the emergency room after someone is pronounced dead. And in this case, I knew his family was there. I knew that he had mother, father, 2 teenage brothers, and a little sister. His girlfriend was out in the waiting room now too, and a bunch of friends. Well, his family came in, and his mother came around the bed. She picked up his lifeless hand, put her fingers through his. The father came around. He was holding her up. I remember the 2 teenage brothers were standing at the foot of the bed, and they were crying. And I just remember standing there doing everything that I could not to cry, when all of a sudden there was a sound. And we looked to the door, and standing there was his little sister. In our grief, we'd forgotten the little girl. And she stood there with her eyes wide open and her face expressionless, staring at her dead brother's body, when all of a sudden she gave out a yell and she ran to the bed and she threw herself across his body. And that room was so quiet. It was so quiet you couldn't hear a sound except this little voice that said, "Please, Bobby, don't die. Please don't die." You need to realize that you all have the power to make good choices. This weekend, you have the prom coming up. Please, please take care of your friends and make good choices. Please don't ever do this to your family. And please do whatever it takes to stay safe. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Alrighty, real quick before we're done, you guys back to that video that you saw. Don't forget that tonight. Yeah, have a good time at prom, but look at this and imagine as if I was in it, or as if the person sitting next to you was in it, because it's very real and it happens. So have fun at prom. Don't do anything stupid. Bye, guys.
To stay safe. Thank you very much. Thank you.